Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Triple N Media. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM. I am here in Pearland, Texas at the Meenakshi temple in the Ganesha temple section, and today we are going to be taking a tour around Navratri Golu decorations, and I have two special guests with me. We have two special guests here, Padmini, who is the chairman of the Meenakshi board, and also we have Nachal Sethuraman, and they are going to take us on a tour of all the decorations we have here at the temple. So welcome to Triple N Media. Maybe give you a little bit background about the Meenakshi temple history, then we'll go into all this Navratri decoration.
Meenakshi temple has been in the Pearland area for 40 years. We are in our 41st year, and it is built in typical South Indian architecture, built after the model of the Madurai Meenakshi temple. And the presiding deity is goddess Meenakshi, and all the rituals that are done here are done as per the tradition of the Madurai Meenakshi temple. And this year we are celebrating the Navratri Golu, which is the 9-day Dasara festival. It is being celebrated in a very grand fashion. And what we are about to see is a very special, unique exhibit displaying depicting many of the Hindu deities and also the traditions of India.
That's fascinating. For those who are not familiar with Navratri and the Golus and all this, let's start off with explaining what Navratri stands for and how these Golus come into the picture during the Navratri festival.
Navratri basically means 9 nights, and it is referred to as Dasara. I think the North Indian people know it as Dasara, and it is basically paying homage to goddess Saraswati, Lakshmi and Durga. Durga Puja is again very popular in the north, and in the south, particularly in Tamil Nadu, one of the ways that we celebrate is depiction of dolls such as this, and the most traditional one is the steps, what you're seeing behind here. That is the traditional way, and it is generally kept in an odd number, either 5 or 7 or 9, and they display different types of deities like Ashtalakshmi and Ganesha. So if you look at the traditional Navratri Golu steps, all these dolls will be there.
This year we tried to make it kind of very educated for children and the public to come to see the Navratri Golu. Apart from having these 9 steps here, we have an entire hall full of other exhibits showing the legend of Meenakshi from story to birth. And it's an old world style village, like that is very common, like back in India. Like whenever we have a Golu, there's a village setup, so we have that there, and then we have a Kali and a Shiva setup, and we have so many other booths here, which is set up like in the traditional temple style, built by our own temple shilpis, and each one of them is allotted to one particular god. So it's just very simple, but still very attractive and very educative for children to see and understand.
That's fascinating. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the Meenakshi temple in Pearland, Texas, and we are looking at all the Golus which are based on steps. Can you tell a little more about all these different gods and different steps as to what it signifies?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
This is like we have in each step, we have various deities. The first one is based on the Shavataram of Vishnu, and the front one is 12 Alvars. And then the second step is all generic gods like Ganesha, Vishnu, Nachal, and Ramanuja. And that is Rama set, which is Rama, Lakshmana and Sita with Hanuman. And this is Murugan with Valli Devane. So this is generally all kind of dolls, like we have millions of deities in Hinduism, so each one is different. And then we have again Ganesha, Meenakshi and Vishnu. So this is not based on a theme, but just the collection of dolls that we have in our temple. We've just arranged them in steps. And then here we have the Kalasham, in which priests have invoked Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati, and the puja is done every day for that. And then back is the Marapachi Bommai set, which is like traditional groom and bride. So we have to keep that in Golu. And then lamps are lit every day, and Naivedyam is done, and puja is done every day to the Golu by the priests. So this is the traditional setup. What all additional we have done is just an additional, yeah.
Maybe you can tell us, as who are all the people who are responsible for putting all these things together.
I'm happy to do that. I'd like to introduce our Shilpis and Praveen, Armugam, Ramanathan, Manikantan and Vishwanathan. And these are our own Shilpis. They stay with us, and they do all the temple work. And I just want to say something special about them. They are basically artisans. That's what Shilpis means. And they all come from a family of artisans back home in India, and they are trained through their families. And each one of them is a specialist in different. One of them do like cement work. Some of them do painting, that kind of thing. So it's a very special skill, and it's the kind of work that they do. You cannot get like the mainstream people to do. So if you look at all the front decorations, the lighting and everything, that is all done by them. Yes,
and it's very impressive, colorful.
Right. So and all the mandaps they also do on a routine days. All the mandaps where we decorate the gods and we take them in processions and things like that. So they do all that work, either with plywood or styrofoam. So we just tell them what needs to be done, but they do the sketching and the painting. So it's a very special skill that they have. And they also are privileged to go into the sanctums and to actually carry the Utsava deities. Other than the priests, the Shilpis are the only ones that have the privilege of it. That is something they earn by birthright from the family. And we are very happy to have them because they all do a lot of hard work. And so the ultimate finish, is because of their work. So,
Okay, maybe you can also introduce the priests who are here at the temple, and then we'll continue with the decorations.
So I'm happy to introduce Sri Manika Bhatter and Sri Balaji. And Manika Bhatter is our senior most priest, and he hails from a family of priests from the hierarchy of the Madurai Meenakshi temple. From there, so and we have had priests from there before, so he is the one that tells us about all the rituals, and also they also do decorations for the deities in the main temple. If you see during these 9 days, every day there is a different decoration that is done. And we have some Vaishnavite priests who do the decorations on that side, but these are the people who come up with the concept, and they also, whenever they go to India, they bring their own decorations and things like that. So that is a very special thing. So the concept is given by them, and most of the times they have to do the decorations themselves. The Shilpis help them, but a lot of it is done by our priests. So they contribute a lot to the success of what we do here.
Yes, our priest Balaji Sethuraman. So he's been here taking care of the Golu all the 9 days, and they give their valuable comments and ideas and what needs to be done and how it has to be carried out with proper rituals being followed. So yes, they are the priests for temple.
Maybe we can hear a nice quick chant from them. Get a glimpse of the temple.
Om Namo Vradapadaye Namo Ganapadaye Namah Pramadapadaye Namaste Astu Lambodaraye Ekadantaye Vighna Vinasine Sivasudaya Sri Varadamurtaye Namo Namaha Namastasye Namo Namaha Om.
That's wonderful, because I grew up in Mysore city, and there was a Venkateshwara temple right next to our street, and every morning I woke up listening to Venkateshwara Suprabhatam. Thank you so much.
This is a setup about the birth of Lord Murugan. This is the Karthikeya Saravana Koile, and Karthikeya Pedwal taking care of 6 ponds of Lord Murugan, which is inside the pond. And so this is just a setup we are making to show how Lord Durga is born from the sparks of fire which comes out from the third eye of Lord Shiva. So this is just a beautiful setup of Lord Durga, dedicated to Lord Durga.
Okay.
This booth is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. So for this we named it like Antariki Shri Hari Antaratma, which is like from the Annamacharya song, which is the Brahma Mukate song. There is a line that says Shri Antariki Shri Hari Antaratma, which means Shri Hari is the soul that dwells in all creatures. So this is totally all various forms of Lord Vishnu, and the bottom ones are the Brahmotsavam set. There's a Brahmotsavam festival that goes on in Tirupati, and every day Venkateshwara comes in a different type of Vahana. So this is depicting that. So this one is totally, this booth is dedicated to Vishnu with some shlokam in Gayatri mantra.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Vishnu.
And this booth is dedicated to goddess Lakshmi, as you can see. And these 8 dolls are the Ashtalakshmi. And here again, goddess Lakshmi representing different. We have Vidya Lakshmi and Santana Lakshmi for goddess of wealth and for children and for courage. So this is totally a depiction of the 8 Lakshmis and Vishnu and Mahalakshmi. So this is dedicated to that. And I just want to bring your attention to all the backdrops in each booth. Those are all specially done through digital processing, and most of these banners were done in India. And Nachal, she created basically from different pictures, and then for each background was done like
I mean, for each deity, we just picked some images and then photoshopped and then sent it online to India and got the.
So are these representing the temples where all these dolls, the gods are housed?
Yes.
So we kind of did it online, got the backdrops from India, and then we made the booth measurements.
This booth is dedicated to Lord Ayyappa of Shabarimala. We have a sanctum of Lord Ayyappa in our temple. And so this is an exact depiction, and this is the 18 steps that is very famous in the Shabarimala temple. And during the Mandala Puja time, all the devotees, they go on a pilgrimage and they climb the 18 steps, and then that leads to the sanctum of Ayyappa. And this setup decoration was done by the Ayyappa devotees of our temple. So we basically told them to, they do this. So this decoration was
showing how the pilgrims.
This is because it is a forest. The mountain. They have it's a fairly treacherous climb. So this just depicts how the devotees, they have to carry what is called an irmudi on their head. If you can see that, they are carrying that, and they climb up the mountain, and they go, and that is during the Mandala Puja time, November, December time. So, and lot of them go by foot also in India. They go, what is called Pada Yatra. And that backdrop is the backdrop of the Shabarimala
mountains.
Mountains. This booth is dedicated to Shakti. That is why we called it Sarvam Shakti. Sarvam. This booth is dedicated to Shakti. That is why we called it Sarvam Shakti Mayam. So this is all the which has all the dolls of Shakti Meenakshi. So the center one is the Meenakshi Kalyanam, and the backdrop is the Gopuram of Madurai Meenakshi temple, and that one is Kasi Visalakshi, and this one is another form of Madurai Meenakshi, and we have Gayatri, and then Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati. So this booth we are totally dedicated to the female goddess Shakti, and we also put shlokam saying Sarvamangala Mangalye. So I think the kids will, it's very easy for them to come, watch it, and then read the shlokam and understand that what it is. So we've just kept it very simple and very easy to understand.
I know this temple is a model of Madurai Meenakshi temple.
Right, yes.
Maybe you can tell us a little more about the Madurai Meenakshi temple for Maybe you can tell us a little more about the Madurai Meenakshi temple.
Madurai Meenakshi temple is in the city of Madurai in Tamil Nadu. It's one of the very ancient temples. I think the age must be at least more than 1,000 years old. So yeah, it was actually during the Mughal invasion. It was totally destroyed and then rebuilt again by the NIK kings. And now it is one of the you can consider it as one of the 7 wonders, and it is spread across many acres of land. And then it was over many centuries, it was patterned by a lot of kings like Pandya kings and then Nayak kings. And now it is like one of the architecturally like magnificent temples in India.
Okay. Yeah, that's why when I look at this temple, there are so many deities and so many levels of which were built 1,000 years ago, as you say. It's fascinating, like you were talking about the artists who are doing.
Madurai Meenakshi Patti sollu. He can say in Tamil if he wants.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Madurai Meenakshi கோயிலை பத்தி சொல்லுங்க. கோயிலை பத்தி சொல்லுங்க.
மதுரை மீனாட்சி கோயிலானது அந்த கோபுரம் தான் இருக்கிறதுலையே அதிக சிற்பங்களே உடைய கோபுரம். வேறு எந்த கோபுரத்துலையும் அவ்வளோ சிற்பம் கிடையாது. கிட்டத்தட்ட 2000 சிற்பங்களுக்கு மேலே அதில் இருக்குது. இன்னொன்று என்ன பெரிய ஸ்பெஷல்னால், மதுரையில் தான் சிவனும் பார்வதியும் வாழ்ந்து ஆட்சி பண்ணதாக உள்ள ஒரே கோவில் அதுதான். மிச்சம் எங்கேயும் சிவன் பார்வதி இருந்ததாக சரித்ததில்லை. வந்துடுவாங்க போயிடுவாங்க. ஆனால் மதுரையில் மட்டும்தான் சுவாமி அம்பாள் இருந்து அங்கே மதுரையே அவங்க ஆட்சி பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அப்பேற்பட்ட ஒரு அற்புதமான கோவில் அது. மதுரையில் 17 கோபுரங்களுக்கு மேலே இருக்குது. பெரிய டெம்பிள் அது. அப்பேற்பட்ட பொற்றாமரை குளம் அப்படிங்கிறது அங்கே தான் இருக்குது. தமிழுடைய மிக முக்கியமான கோவில் அந்த மதுரை கோவில். அப்பேற்பட்ட அந்த மதுரை கோயிலை பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் இங்கே எல்லா பூஜையும் நம்ம மீனாட்சி டெம்பிள்லையும் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கோம். அற்புதமான முறையில் அதே மாதிரி இங்கேயும் எல்லாம் போயிட்டுருக்கோம்.
This booth is dedicated, as you can see, to Lord Shiva, and he is also one of the main deities in our main temple, and we follow a lot of the special pujas for Shiva in our temple. In fact, we have another special puja coming up in the next few days called Annabhishekam, where we do Abhishekam for Shiva with rice, with rice, and we have a very large devotee base, for Shiva pujas that happen here. And again, the backdrop here is showing the Kailash mountain and the image of Shiva that was done in India. And then we have the Natraja, where the dancing pose of Shiva. And actually, where he is in meditation. That is that. And here it is Shiva and Parvati in their Vahanam, that is the Nandi, the Vahanam, that. And actually in our sanctum there is something special about the Natraja that we have in Meenakshi temple. It is a very rare form because, as you can see here, he has a left foot raised, in a dancing pose. But in our sanctum, what you will see is it is a right foot. There are only, I think, 2 places where in Madurai and in this temple, where so that is a very rare sanctum that we have in our temple. You want to say something?
And because that is a Natraja, so we also have the ladies. It is believed that Bharatanatyam originates from the dance of Natraja. So we have the ladies in the Bharatanatyam pose, like praying to Lord Natraja. And then we have Nalvar, who are the 4 saints who sang hymns in Tamil for Lord Shiva to revive Hinduism when it was kind of extinct during the Mughal invasion. So this is those are the people who sang the Tamil hymns.
That's fascinating.
This is dedicated to Lord Guru, which is one of the 9 planets. It's a Navagraha sanctum we have, and Guru, I think in English, is Jupiter. Is the thing, and Saturn and Jupiter, those are the 2 planets that are considered to be very powerful, and we have special pujas on the days because in their cycle, in the zodiac cycle, Guru, I think, moves his position once a year,
Yes.
and Saturn moves every 2.5 years. So based on whichever birth stars it affects, people come and we hold special pujas, for that. So this is a depiction of, it's also called Dakshinamurti, and there are several special temples in South India where people go just to pray to Lord Guru or Lord Shani, the Saturn, for that, especially if their stars are affected by it. So it is a very popular trend and faith-based thing in South India. So, and he is considered a form of Shiva. So Dakshinamurti is considered a form of Shiva.
In meditating.
And you will see in the 9 deities, one of the Navagraha sanctums, one of the deities is Guru. And it is believed that where Guru sees, where he puts his sight on, that is very important. So always people want to go and stand in front of the idol and worship because that is how they feel that they get the grace of Lord. Where he looks, they say it's very important.
Okay, maybe you can tell us all the decorations here and what's its significance.
Yeah. This is Meenakshi temple. So what we thought was we have to tell the children the story of what Madurai Meenakshi is all about. So we just made cutouts. So like the olden days, we have this Amar Chitra Katha comics which I used to read and we used to. So like that's something similar that so we made from birth of Meenakshi to Meenakshi's Kalyanam. That is the idea behind making these cutouts, and we have the stories like how Meenakshi is born, and then she becomes the queen of Madurai, and then she goes to war to Mount Kailash, and she goes and encounters Shiva in a battle. But then after seeing him, she falls in love with him, and then they come back to Madurai and they get married. And Meenakshi Kalyanam is said to be it is like a golden standard of how a wedding is conducted in South Indian with South Indian rituals and pomp and festivity. So the Meenakshi Kalyanam at our temple is also one of the most important and grand events. So we thought we should display the story with
It's fascinating.
cutouts.
Okay, this setup depicts a traditional procession in some of the temples. The first one, what you are saying, is the Garuda Seva. This is a procession of Lord Vishnu on his the vehicle, the Garuda. So this is a very traditional festival that is conducted in many of the Vaishnavite temples in South India. And so this is an entire depiction of the procession with the band and the devotees and the priests on the procession trail. And this one is again representative of a chariot that is there in many of the temples. And we have one in our temple also that is in silver. And this one shows a procession of a radham, of a deity and all the devotees. And so this is all part of many festivals in South Indian temples.
It's fascinating. So,
this is a typical village scene as it shows all the bullock carts and then the farmers and the cow shed where the man milking the cow. So this depicts a very, very typical village scene. And the deity that you see in the back is also very typical of many of the villages in South India, and they call them the Kaval Devam, which is basically the deity that protects that village or that part of the village, and that you will see again in pretty much all the smaller towns and villages. So we have tried to recreate that of all the like you can see the Ferris wheel and all of that. Those are all things also that happen in a village festival. So this is again a typical setup that is done in most of the traditional Golus. And if you really look at the detail of all these dolls, they're all handmade in India. So I think we have a lot to be proud of, that pretty much all the dolls that you're seeing here are handcrafted in India, and they are transported from there.
that's fascinating. So,
That is why we call this this exhibit as Soul of India Lives in Its Villages, because this setup is kind of almost forgotten, like even in India or in America, nobody does this village setup. I know that we used to do it as a little girl when we were growing up, so we thought we should bring this exhibit, which is, I think, one of the most very well liked by all the children who come to see the Golu. It's very simple, very old, but it has so much detail, and it depicts a Indian village.
That's clear. Photo. Yes.
Okay, what we have here is an entire depiction of the battle of Kurukshetra between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, and it shows two sides of the army, and also in the middle is Vishwarupam. So that is the darshan that Lord Krishna gives for Arjuna in the battlefield. So this is an entire depiction of the battle of Kurukshetra, and all of these dolls are once again handmade, and each one is done by an individual mold. And if you can see, there is a color coordination where the colors are different, just to depict the two sides of the army. And then we have the chariot with Krishna and Arjuna in that chariot, where he does that is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, is done on the battlefield of Kurukshetram. And finally he gives the Vishwarupa Darshan, which is what we have depicted. And all this backdrop that you see have all been done by our Shilpis. Yes. Everything, all the backdrops, this front, the lighting, and everything has been done by our Shilpis. And as Bhagavad Gita is, is the essence of, our Hinduism, so this is an entire depiction of that.
Yeah, actually we named this Golu as Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, because there is a famous shloka from Bhagavad Gita which says Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Meaning, whenever there is evil which tries to triumph over righteousness, I am born from age to age. So that is what the meaning is, meaning that Krishna advises Arjuna to do his duty and not worry about the results, and he shows his Vishwarupam and says that I will be born from age to take care of whatever evil is happening in this world. So that is the meaning, and so that is why this is the main theme of this Golu, and that's why we depicted the Vishwarupam and Arjuna and all the battlefield and stuff. So that is the meaning which we put it there like in a poster, showing the story.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the Meenakshi temple in Pearland, Texas, and we are looking at all the Navratri decorations. And we just heard about the Kurukshetra, which depicts the war between Kauravas and Pandavas, and I'm very familiar with this because we had a handicraft store in India, and we used to have big panels of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
And in fact, early part of this year, I recorded the entire 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit and in English.
Okay.
It's on our YouTube channel, and you're welcome to watch, listen to that, and get a glimpse of our thousands of years of Indian mythology.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Ganesha and Lord Muruga dolls from the temple. They have such beautiful features, and they are really tall and nice, and like the two brothers of yeah, and that's all like this.
Hold on one second. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is one of the famous exhibits of this Navratri Golu, which a lot of people have liked. And this is like the Bengali Ma Durga and Shiva. The faces I bought from Kumar Tuli, Kolkata. It is like a potter's colony. They make the faces and dolls from the banks of river Ganges. They take clay out of Ganges river and then they make it. So a friend got it for us from Kumar Tuli, Kolkata. So we just made use of the face. But this face has been put up on two very big lamps, 6 feet brass lamps, and we've decorated that to look like Durga and Shiva. So
good. Let's see if you want to.
Go to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. These basically is Goddess Lakshmi and Saraswati, who are one of the 3 Shakti deities in the festival of Navratri. And I think what the main reason for this depiction is, in addition to enjoying the actual festival and the display and the decorations, is we want this to be an educational experience, mainly for children and for adults, because when you show children, visually they are able to understand about all the different deities and what they learn in some of their what the parents teach at home or in our Vedic heritage classes. So this has been very well received in our community, and actually for the first time in the history of this temple, we are extending this exhibit until our Diwali Bazaar Day, which is November the 3rd, which has never been done, and we want more people to come and see this. So we want people to know that this exhibit will be open until the 3rd of November for people to come and enjoy.
So ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching NNN Media, and we are here at the Pearland Meenakshi temple, and we took you on a beautiful tour of all the Navratri decorations here in Pearland, Texas, and we welcome all of you to come and visit this temple and also take a look at these beautiful decorations which not only looks colorful and attractive, but at the same time has a lot of information about the Indian mythology and about all the different gods and goddesses that are represented here at the Meenakshi temple. Padmini and Nachal, thank you very much for inviting me to get this wonderful experience here at the Meenakshi temple. And ladies and gentlemen, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.